Here we are, guys. Hello. Welcome. We're going to go into a nice cast, a good fun game. It's actually going to be a best of three between Naniwa, Complexity's Naniwa, the purple Protoss at the bottom, going up against whitera, our good friend whitera, tt Esports whitera, and pretty much the player that everybody knows, loves, appreciates, and has known for a while, considering Brood War and everything. And he is someone that everybody should really learn from, try to emulate. There's actually a funny TL thread that was made saying, so you want to be whitera, and it went through all these kind of things that were a lot of fun to go ahead, check out, enjoy. And it's always good to watch him because he's a beast. Naniwa is a beast in his own right, part of Complexity, one of the best teams out there, and he is definitely one of those more inflammatory personalities that are fun to go ahead and just observe, have fun with, and realize that they are still an incredibly strong person. And I'm happy about this game because I haven't really casted a PvP in a while, and it's actually a very interesting matchup to me considering that I'm a Protoss and I've been actually managing to play more lately. So I've been obviously encountering more PvP in the ladder, and just always good to take a spot from the players, the pro players out there, and just see what they're doing, enjoy it, examine it, and realize just what makes it so good. Right off the bat, we can see that both players have similar gateway timings, though Naniwa is slightly ahead. Looks like he might have gone for a 12 gate, though. I was kind of looking at whitera at the start. You have his gas coming up, actually surprisingly faster than whitera again. So I'm really thinking that there was more of a 12 gate out of Naniwa to start with, but he's also went ahead and scouted earlier than whitera. For some reason, it actually looks like he misclicked on the minimap or something, because he's sending his probe to an odd spot. And that very early probe is something that's actually going to compound into the reason why whitera has a little bit of a higher food count beyond even if Naniwa went for a 12 gate. So whitera is going to be able just to have things a little bit faster. You can see how this gateway is slightly behind Naniwa is because Naniwa is cutting probes. You can see how they're right now even on probe count, except for the fact that whitera just now squeaked ahead, and whitera is able to get out the Zealot because Naniwa cut a few things to make sure he could get out that, he cut a few things by getting that early scout. So we can see that whitera is only going to go ahead and scout now, and he's basically just gambling the fact that he's not going to get cannon rushed and he's not going to get proxy gated or something like that, because if he did, he wouldn't see it in time, and odds are he would lose. But he's also whitera, so who knows? Maybe he actually has his build refined enough to the point where he can get away with this, or he's just metagaming. Both are possible, but it's benefiting him right now. You can see how far ahead he is in the food count. And right now, Naniwa has thrown down a second gas and 2 gates and starting next score. So his tab record is also getting warp gates. So everything's looking to be pretty normal from him. And whitera has got his second gas as well, but no second gate. That's just fumble over all my words. But the points are still there. whitera is actually not in trouble from that very early scout, very late scout, I mean, because basically you can scout until the stalker comes out. That's what the point I've been trying to make, and I'm kind of stumbling over my words because I'm very tired because school has been killing me. But besides that, you can basically note the fact that whitera is definitely in the lead at the moment in time. He's getting out his robo after his single gateway. He's getting out his Cybernetic core in the warp gate, mining gas, and everything's looking solid. He's managed to be ahead in the food count by a little bit this entire game, and he's ahead in probes, continuing to produce probes. And the funny thing is that Naniwa is too. But Naniwa seems to be allocating his chrono boost slightly differently. We can see their warp gate timings are pretty much neck and neck now, considering the amount that they have chronoed out. And Naniwa is getting out a Twilight Council, so he could be going for just your normal standard blink play. I was definitely expecting that from him. He's very strong like that, and we see him actually possibly going to be losing that probe, which he now does. And he's basically faking a big heavy gateway pressure right now. He's going to try and force whitera to do something stupid, alter his build, and then give Naniwa a really good position. And this pylon should be getting cancelled in a second. We see it's selected, and there is the cancel. And Naniwa should also cancel. He's actually not going to. He's actually going to continue warping in. He's just got 2 warp gates worth of units, though. And he's actually... Is he actually faking whitera into thinking that a heavier build is coming than it actually is? Because we're watching as he's actually doing a fair bit of damage. whitera is trying to get out this Immortal. He doesn't have it quite yet, though, and that's actually going to hurt him. whitera's going to need to also probably cancel that pylon. I don't see if he's going to be able to save that. Will he cancel? There we go. Nice time on that cancel. But now he's got his gateways up, and I don't think Naniwa can continue really pressuring. He's actually getting Zealots now, even though he's actually getting Blink and crowing that out. But now we have this Immortal out, going to actually end up attacking Naniwa's Zealot. Gotta be careful though, that Immortal is in range of those Stalkers. We see him pulling back, and he needs to Whitera needs to pull back that Immortal. It's actually taking a lot of damage. You can see Naniwa is actually focusing down a Stalker and retreating, taking not as many losses as he really could, and he actually managed to trade for units that it actually will benefit him, because he's going Blink, which means he can't really attack against this ramp once he being Whitera gets 2 or 3 Immortals out. I don't think he has an Observer either. He's just going for straight Immortals right now. Yeah, and he's going to have a Sentry and Expansion. So we're watching as Naniwa is still only on 2 gates, weirdly enough. He has a Proxy Pylon over here, and he's just amassing up Stalkers without Robotech. So he doesn't have the Blink. He can't harass and go into the main and all that. He's just going for straight up Stalkers, which will not be able to take this army in a straight fight. He might try and move forward, snipe a Stalker or a Sentry, and then blink back. But as far as opportunities go, he's really going to be hard-pressed to find one. Whitera has still managed to get farther and farther ahead. Naniwa has turned down his Expo, but he's been on only 2 gates this entire time, and it's amazing he's been able to produce and do this much off of just 2 gateways. But Whitera may actually end up losing an Immortal if he... it looks like... Oh, Stalk gets lost instead. I thought Naniwa was going to turn around and try and focus on the Immortal, but now we have 3 out. Guardian Shield is even there. There we have the Death of the Sentry and the blinking back of Naniwa, but Whitera looks like he's going to do a little bit of a push now, and that is something that I don't actually think Naniwa can really defend against. He's just still on those 2 gates only. There's no charge. We see that the Robo is now about to be out, but if... I guess, okay, looks like Whitera actually pulled back, but still, the point stands. If Whitera were to push, Naniwa might not be able to defend it. This Nexus is about to complete. We're going to see 4 gates and a Robo off the 2 base once that gets up. Whitera is just on 3 gates and a Robo, but he's been on that for longer, producing for longer, and now he's really starting to get his next base saturated. We see right now, he's slightly ahead in the probe count, but he didn't over-probe in the start. It's kind of funny to say over-probe, but it's similar to over-drone in this case. If you work on getting out all of these probes and everything in the face of a big attack, you're gonna go ahead and die because your army's strength is not there because you've invested in this economy that ends up being pointless if you're just gonna get attacked. So I really like that. He's balancing the expansion, the probe production, and all that quite well. You can see now it's 34 to 29. Naniwa has now just finished his natural, and he's going to start transferring his own probes. So the income is not going to be too far from each of these players. But the great thing that Naniwa's been able to do is actually doing a little bit of pressure in the face of all this and great blinking. He's not really losing that many Stalkers, but he's still lost more. Just the threat of these Immortals is too much. And even though Naniwa is microing very, very well, it's just not in a good position for him to actually make really big pushes. When you see him push forward, actually just, I think he's lost another Stalker. If I'm wrong, then it doesn't really matter. Whitera's ahead. This is a sloppy cast. Oh well. But now we're having all of these... This is going to be a big push. We have all these units in the back. 1 Immortal is out for Naniwa. It's also got a bunch of Sentries, which will be great because of the fact that there's no blink out for Whitera. But now we're seeing this push really happening. A good cutoff, but Whitera's got 4 Immortals here, happily attacking. We're seeing probes are now going to go ahead and be pulled. Naniwa now has got 2 Immortals of his own to try and do that. He's actually did a great job of locking in those couple of Immortals, but there's just so many of them. The other Hardened Shield, you can see how Whitera is actually being defended. Naniwa is controlling this incredibly well, blinking back nicely. Those forces were really key to split up the army of Whitera, but I am nervous for Naniwa defending another push. We can see right now that his probe count went down to 25. Whitera is warping in more units in the back, and now we're going to see Naniwa go for a large attack, and wait a second, is this game going to go completely the wrong... What? Wait a second, so now we're having Whitera being pushed back, we're having the blink being really, really key now, and even though... Did Whitera end up over-probing? Because this is now looking to be a very tough push for him to defend. We have the Observer that's running around seeing everything that he was basically already aware of, but now we're going to watch as this Immortal is going to target down. Naniwa now has the lead in the Immortal count as we're watching Whitera start pulling probes. He's going to go ahead and try and retreat, get them alive, but this is a very strong army, and Whitera is only slightly ahead of the food, but that's all probes. This army, and a nice force field by Naniwa, will go ahead and pick off a few of those Zealots. But this is actually looking like Naniwa's game. This army may just be too strong from him. We're seeing how Whitera is now getting a few more Immortals, but they're getting blinked on and targeted, and they're going down. And there is Naniwa saying reps. I think that was actually probably just a replay editor that's giving that kind of check, because I don't think he would be typing that in the middle of this game. So I don't think that was actually on there. There's the GG, well played by Whitera, and well played indeed. Well played indeed. Very cool game, and wow, that screen is not proportioned the way it should be. But still, that game was awesome. I am shocked as to how that ended up going around. Naniwa just completely defending that, sacrificing probes, and engaging immediately because, well, if he tried to play a macro after that, just went, set back, and tried to reprobe and go back up, White would have an insane advantage. So, in the end, Naniwa played that amazingly perfectly and was able to just turn it around and destroy White after crushing his army. And I can't emphasize how important those forces were, just how key those were to lock off a lot of White superior army at that point and allowing Naniwa just to be dishing out so much more DPS than White even though White had 4 Immortals, like literally twice the Immortal count. I don't know if White didn't target fire as well as he should have or something, but in the end, Naniwa, well done, and he's going to go up 1-0.